This is KVUE News Midday.
Good Tuesday morning. We're glad you're with us. I'm Brian May.
I'm Corey Coffin in for Yvonne Nava. Thank you for watching KVUE News Midday. Let's take a live look outside this midday. Taking a look at some clouds there. Let's get a look at what we're tracking with storm team meteorologist Erica Lopez.
Well, it's been kind of a mix of a day out there. Peaks of sunshine, but also some scattered showers. As for us, just outside of the KVUE studios, a partly cloudy day. We did have some scattered showers pushed through earlier this morning, but you're really feeling the humidity out there with dew points still in the lower 70s. Calm wind as of now. It's coming in from the east, though, so about 5 miles an hour today, and temperatures right now in the lower 80s. Here's what the radar looks like. The majority of the activity has been in central and eastern counties. Little spotty showers developing, and that's going to be the case all day long. Looks like our southeastern counties with one small lonely cell that's bringing in some moderate rain just south of Dripping Springs. That's pretty much the case for the first half of our day. The majority of the rain, the heavier rain, is closer to the coast, but what we're tracking are possible thunderstorm chances this afternoon. After about lunchtime, we may have a chance of seeing an isolated shower. Could be strong at times also across the viewing area, and also some possible thunderstorms in the forecast. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Mostly cloudy, but again, that 40% chance of storms is in our forecast throughout the afternoon. Highs under 90 degrees for the majority of the viewing area. So at least temperatures are below average. So that's something we can enjoy for a few more days. I'm tracking above average temperatures headed our way, but the sunshine to follow. Guys, back to you.
The heat is back. Erica, thanks. More information on that late night warning from the White House to Syria and the Assad regime about their potential use of chemical weapons.
The White House is threatening Syria's president with serious consequences if he carries out another chemical attack on his own people. ABC's Maggie Ruley has more on that warning.
A late-night warning from the White House, accusing the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad of planning another chemical weapons attack on his own people. In a statement, quote, if, however, Mr. Assad conducts another mass murder attack using chemical weapons, he and his military will pay a heavy price. The statement came from White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, accusing Assad of preparing an attack similar to the one he carried out on April 4th. That one killed at least 70 people, including many children. The White House said that attack crossed a red line, and their response was swift, a U.S.-led missile strike on a Syrian airbase within 63 hours. ABC's military analyst Stephen Ganyard says this time we could see an even bigger strike.
If he doesn't believe that Assad's getting the message, he could expand the target set. It could include things like military headquarters, the presidential palace, or even Assad himself.
Syria has strongly denied the new U.S. allegations and that they were responsible for the earlier chemical attack. And Syria's key ally, Russia, calls the threats from the White House unacceptable. The UK's defense secretary says so far the U.S. hasn't shared any specific evidence of Syria planning a new chemical attack, but promised to back any American response.
The use of chemical weapons against innocent civilians is absolutely abhorrent. It's illegal under any rule of war.
And U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley tweeted that any future attacks on the people of Syria will not only be blamed on Assad, but also on those who support him, like Russia and Iran. Maggie Ruley, ABC News, New York.
The Supreme Court plans to hear the case for President Trump's travel ban on 6 Muslim-majority countries. That's set to happen in the fall. In the meantime, the Supreme Court is letting the administration enforce the ban for 90 days. It applies to citizens of Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. So what exactly does this mean? The justices provided several examples to explain exactly who may enter the country. If U.S. citizens claim close relatives from one of their targeted countries, they will be able to do so. Now, if universities have accepted students from one of the targeted countries, the students still will be able to enter the United States and begin their studies. And if a U.S. business has given a job to a worker from one of those countries, the worker will be able to do that job. The White House says this is a clear victory for national security.
We will have to wait to find out if Senate Bill 4 will go into effect September 1st as planned. A federal judge in San Antonio decided not to make a ruling after 6 hours of preliminary hearings yesterday. Austin is one of 6 Texas cities suing the state because of the so-called Sanctuary Cities bill. Senate Bill 4 would require all law enforcement honor ICE detainers, those voluntary requests to hold someone in jail while their immigration status is investigated. It also lets officers ask someone who is detained about their status. It prohibits law enforcement leaders from having immigration policies and prohibits elected officials from endorsing policies that contradict the new law. Many believe the law is discriminatory and will tear families apart. Today, Austin ISD board members, teachers, and students gathered together to announce a $1.05 billion proposal set to modernize many of Austin's schools while not increasing taxes.
KVUE's Jay Wallace joins us live this morning where that meeting happened. And Jay, explain exactly how that tax rate is going to stay put.
Yeah, well, the $1 billion mark, that was a line that many couldn't cross in deciding if this bond would become a reality or not. But schools like Menchaca Elementary School, it's going to be able to be included in this bond even though it's above $1 billion, and the tax rate is not going to change. So let me explain how that was able to happen and how AISD got it done. So AISD will get some financial help from a contingency fund and property sales as well, which will bring the number just below $1 billion. So AISD's Director of Finance explained it in simple terms today. He said the district is going to be replacing some old debt with new debt, keeping the flow the same and the tax rates the same as well. And Superintendent Paul Cruz says for years the district has been taking a patchwork approach to fixing problems with certain schools, fixing bits and pieces as they go, but it's now time to make big changes for big problems.
But we're talking about the future. And at this point, we are looking at fully modernizing our sites. In that situation, it's taking some campuses offline and replacing them. Because at some time, the cost to fix a school or just to patch it up may be not as maybe cost prohibitive as when we just want to actually rebuild the school and replace it.
So Superintendent Cruz did not mention which schools are being considered for closure, especially in the East Austin area where there has been some under-enrollment. He said the district will look at conditions, enrollment, and talk to those schools' communities before any decisions are made. This proposal includes 16 new or modernized schools, as well as an initiative to create new programs. Now, in this study, the district found $4 billion worth of needs and changes that need to be made. But, of course, the number's at $1.05 billion. Not everything is going to be fixed, but that's because the superintendent says they're going to take a worst first approach, filling the most needs first. Live in Austin, Jay Wallace, KVUE News.
Jay, thanks a lot. Texas State University police need your help this morning identifying a man who scared a class full of university students. Here's a picture of the man. The University Police Department saying he walked into a classroom Friday and went on a rant about September 11th and the attacks that happened that day. Police say the man then wanted to talk to the highest authority and mention the university president. Witnesses told police he stood up and reached into his backpack, which then caused everyone to run out of the room in fear. The man left before police arrived. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call Texas State University Police.
A Dallas area teenager is waking up with a new car this morning after a random act of kindness. Justin walks 3 miles every day to get back and forth to work. Well, one hot day, someone noticed him on the side of the road. They thought maybe he could use some AC. So he offered him a ride and heard all about his story. Justin told the man he had just graduated from high school, but he didn't have a car, and that's why he walks every day. So on Friday, this happened.
I'm at work, I'm clocking out, and I'm leaving. As I'm leaving, I just see all these people, and I'm just like what's going on? But like after they gave me the car, I feel like I just want to like pass that on to everybody. Because a lot of people need that, like to really know, like keep going. You know what I mean?
Wow, well, the man who gave Justin that ride home shared his story online, and donations began pouring in, enough to get Justin his first car. Justin says he feels blessed and that this is a sign to keep working hard. It sure is. Wow,
great story.
It is fantastic. Well, coming up right here on Midday, this terrifying bus crash captured on camera. We'll show you exactly how those terrifying moments went down and what the passengers had to endure.
Plus, a Texas kid in for a big surprise, how police officers helped this little boy's dreams come true.